first did this was right after the Winter Olympics. You do not want to be on the curling team. Because what does that person and that person do? What do? Have you watched this? It's crazy to watch.
Clear the path
But
for you.
they are clearing the path. Every bump, every little tiny, anything in the way of getting this thing from here to here. And as parents in our culture these days, we are often told that's our role, is to clear the path. What do they call it now? Lawnmower parents, right? Just clear the path. I do not want my child to experience anything difficult. I don't want them to ever have to struggle. I want everything to be super smooth. I want them to be happy. And so we don't want to do this. This is like the opposite of what we've been talking about today. So if you are wobbling, then you are learning. And if you are learning, then you are flourishing. If I don't have to wobble and I hand you this paper and you can do it all, you didn't learn, you just proved that you already know it. So we're really talking about learning. We are talking about something that your child does not already know how to do, and that is when learning happens. Okay? So if you are doing something that you can already do, you're practicing, whereas learning requires you to step out of your comfort zone, to go beyond your current abilities and try things that will make you wobble. So that's the challenge. These are some quotes. Oh, and yeah, before I get to the quotes, I'll stay here for a minute. As I was just kind of alluding to, if you were to, I don't know, if you show your students work, like the work that you're doing at home, other than when you come in for conferences, but you know, if you've got, if their dad comes home, or if there's someone else that you're going to share their schoolwork with, what would you normally choose? Like, oh, here's their finished paper, it's done, or they write a letter to grandma in their best penmanship. If you can rock their world and be like, hey, here's a math paper, they missed half of them, but we worked through it, they learned it, you went through this process, and now they've had this eureka moment that they totally know it. That should be the paper that you share with your ES. Your ESs they've all seen all of this, they would be right there with you. Give them a heads up. Hey, we're going to bring in work this time, and it's not like the perfect paper. It is what they really learned, and that child could talk about that day if they've gone through this process and be with their ES and be like, oh my word, I totally missed it, I didn't understand it, we looked at this, we used this video, we went back to the book, my mom taught me this, we went through it, and now I can do it. Those are things that our ESs would want to celebrate with you, or your AB teacher in workshop would want to celebrate with you at conferences. Your child is going to think you're absolutely nuts, right? If you're going to be like, okay, you missed it all, that's great, we're going to figure it out. I mean, it's just a shift in a mindset, and they're going to be like, I don't know what you're doing right now. If I were able to actually talk to your student and ask them what is the most important thing, what is most important to your mom or your dad about homeschooling? What do you think they would say? Anybody want to share? Go ahead.
Attitude.
That they have a good attitude?
Or at least not a terrible one.
Okay. No terrible attitude today. What do you think they would say? What's most important?
My kids would have said that we get our work done.
Yeah. So the first time I did this presentation, my then, what was she, 19? 19-year-old daughter was in the back of the room. And I knew what she would have said. And I said, it's about getting the work done. It's to check it off. It's to be done at the end of the day. And I looked at her and she's like, this face, I'm like, yeah, I know. I wish I knew all of this then and would have embraced a different mindset with the whole process. But it is an interesting thing. You can ask that question. Be brave. So, what do you think is most important to me about homeschooling? And see what they say. when you can catch them in one of those moments. And then you can follow up with the, and tell me more about that. And see what you get. It'll be interesting. Let's see. So what a revelation if we were to say my mom wants me to really learn. That would be the ultimate, right? That's what we want to hear, that my mom wants me to learn and that she's okay with struggling. She's going to help me learn. Those would be the things that we would really, really, really want to see happen. All right, these quotes are quotes from students in classrooms. Like I said, I've watched videos of various schools that have embraced this entire model. So up here, I used to get upset if I got a wrong answer or made a mistake, and I would be scared to tell the teacher. But now I know the teachers will be happy I've tried different things and gone into the pit. They'll share the mistake with the class so that it will help everyone in their learning. My son has always been very negative about everything, but now that is definitely changing. I'm in the pit comes out a lot. He now knows that if he keeps persevering and keeps trying, that he will improve. It is definitely changing his view of things. What I didn't like about learning before, we had the learning pit was when you failed, you thought that you were really bad at that lesson and you didn't want to do it again. But now we know about the learning pit. We all know that it's okay to struggle because that's when you learn most.